Good morning class. Welcome back to grade 5 maths. How are you all doing today? So today let's learn how we can divide a fraction by another fraction. To divide a fraction by another fraction, first you find out the multiplicative inverse of the divisor fraction. Then you have to multiply the dividend fraction with the multiplicative inverse of the divisor fraction. So let's see how we can do that with an example. Divide 5 by 8 by 15 by 9. So you have the dividend here, dividend fraction 5 by 8 divided by the divisor fraction 15 by 9. So what is the first step? The first step is to find out the multiplicative inverse of the divisor fraction. So the multiplicative inverse of the divisor 15 by 9 is equal to 9 by 15. Now we have to multiply the dividend with the multiplicative inverse of the divisor. So that would be 5 by 8 into 9 by 15, which is the multiplicative inverse. So that would give us 5 by 8 into 9 by 15 is equal to, see, we can cancel out this numerator 5 and this denominator 15 with common factors, right? 5 and 15 are multiples of 5. So let's divide this 5 by 5, which gives you 1, and this 15 divided by 5 gives you 3. Now here we have 3 and in this numerator we have 9. So 9 and 3 are multiples of 3, right? So let's cancel out this 9 by 3. So that gives us 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3, and here we have 3 now. So 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. Now the numerators are 1 into 3 and the denominators are 8 into 1. So what do we get? 1 into 3 is equal to 3 and 8 into 1 is equal to 8. So we have the quotient 5 by 8 divided by 15 by 9 is equal to 3 by 8. We have the quotient fraction. Now we'll see one more example. Divide 3 by 7 by 8 by 42. So here we have the dividend fraction 3 by 7 and the divisor fraction here is 8 by 42. So let's see how we can proceed with the steps. 3 by 7 into the multiplicative inverse of the divisor fraction. What is the multiplicative inverse of 8 by 42? It is 42 by 8. So that we are doing here 3 by 7 into 42 by 8. Now, is there any common factor in which we can use to cancel out the numbers? See, the 7 and 42 are multiples of 7, right? So let's divide this 7 by 7 and that gives us 1, and this 42 divided by 7 gives you 6. Now, here we have 3 by 1 into 6 by 8. Now, the 6 and 8 are multiples of 2. So let's cancel out 2 from here. So 6 divided by 2 gives you 3 and 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. So in the numerator we have 3 into 3 by the denominators 1 into 4. What do we get there? 3 into 3 by 1 into 4. 3 into 3 is 9 and 1 into 4 is equal to 4. So the quotient for this division is 9 by 4. I hope you are clear with this. Now we'll see one question from your textbook under the heading Hordes, which is in page number 73. A man spends 1/5 of his salary on house rent and half of the remaining amount on transportation. If he spends rupees 5,000 more on transportation, then what is his salary? So what is given in the question? Yes, it is said in the question, a man spends 1/5 of his salary on house rent. And we don't know the salary, but it is mentioned the half of the remaining amount after paying the house rent, some amount will be remaining, right? So half of that amount will be paid towards the transportation. And it is also said if he spends rupees 5,000 more on transportation, then what is his salary? So let's see the steps. See, from the question we can write the fraction of salary spent on house rent is equal to what? 1/5 that we have here, and the fraction of remaining salary. See, If it is set 1 by 5, it means the salary, the total amount was divided into 5 equal parts and one part of it is spent on house rent. So how many parts are remaining? Out of 5, 1 was taken, so 4 parts are remaining. So that fraction of remaining salary will be the number of parts remaining by the total number of parts. So the fraction would be that 5 minus this 1, which is equal to 4. So its fraction, the fraction is 4 by 5. Now, the fraction of salary spent on transportation. In the question, it is said half of the remaining amount is spent on transportation. So what is remaining? The fraction remaining is 4 by 5. Half of 4 by 5. It is equal to 1 by 2, or half is equal to 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 into 4 by 5. Yeah. Now see, we can cancel out numbers or common factors here. 2 and 4 are multiples of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1 and 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So we have 1 into 2 by 1 into 5. So the fraction of salary spent on transportation is equal to 2 by 5. Clear? And it is also mentioned in the question that rupees 5,000 was spent more on transportation. Rupees 5,000 more was spent on transportation. It means, see, the fraction of salary spent more on transportation will be the fraction of salary spent on transportation minus the fraction of salary spent on house rent, right? An amount rupees 5,000 more was spent on transportation. So let's find out the fraction of salary spent more on transportation. What would it be? The fraction of salary spent on transportation was 2 by 5 and the fraction spent on house rent was 1 by 5. So how much more amount or how much more fraction was spent on transportation? It was 1 by 5. 2 by 5 minus 1 by 5. Here these are like fractions. So we just need to subtract the numerator. So 2 minus 1, 1 by 5. So this is the fraction of salary or fraction of more amount spent on transportation. And we are given that extra amount, that 1 by 5, or this fraction of salary is equal to 5,000. So how would we write that? 1 by 5 of salary is equal to 5,000. So how would we find out the salary? The salary would be, you just cross multiply 5 here and 1 here. So it would be 5,000 into 5 by 1. What is 5,000 into 5? 5 5s are 25 and then you insert the 3 zeros at the right end. So the salary would be rupees 25,000. Hope you are clear with this. Now we'll see a couple more questions from Target Olympiad, which is in page number 74 of your textbook. So the first question is, a box contains 72 apples. 8 apples in each dozen are good and the rest are rotten. What fraction of the total apples are rotten? So what is given in the question? A box has 72 apples in it and 8 apples in each dozen are good. The remaining in each dozen are rotten. We are asked to find out the fraction of rotten apples. So what is 1 dozen? 1 dozen means it's a group of 12. So if there are 72 apples, how many dozen will be there? The total number of apples is equal to 72. So to find out how much dozen is it, let's divide 72 by 12. So 72 divided by 12 is equal to how much? 6. So 72 apples will be 6 dozen. And in the question it is said 8 apples in each dozen are good. And so in each dozen how many will be rotten? If 8 apples are good, the remaining 4 will be rotten, right? So the number of good apples in each dozen is equal to 8 and we have 6 dozen. So total how many good apples will be there? The total number of good apples will be equal to that 8, which is the good apple number of good apples in each dozen, into 6, the number of dozen. So that is equal to 8 into 6 is equal to 48. Now we know the total number of apples and we know the total number of good apples. So what would be the total number of rotten apples? It would be the total number of apples minus the total number of good apples, right? So that would be equal to 72 minus 48. That is equal to 24. So we have the number of rotten apples now. So how do you write the fraction of rotten apples? The fraction of rotten apples will be equal to the number of rotten apples by the total number of apples. So what is the number of rotten apples? It is equal to 24 by 72, total number of apples. See, here we can cancel out the common factors. 24, both these numbers 24 and 72 are multiples of 24. So let's cancel out 24 from each. 24 divided by 24 is equal to 1 and 72 divided by 24 is equal to 3. So the equivalent fraction will be 1 by 3. So this is the fraction of rotten apples in the set. Clear? Now we'll see the next question. A merchant pays duty on certain goods at 3 different places. At the first place, he gives 1/3 of the worth of goods. At the second place, he gives 1/4 of the remaining amount, and at the third place, he gives 1/5 of the remaining amount. If the total duty paid by him is rupees 1020, what is the total worth of the goods? So let's see what all data are given in the question. See, so this merchant goes to 3 places, right? And in all the 3 places, he pays some duty. And in the first place, how much was the duty paid? 1/3 of the total worth of goods. We are asked to find out what is the total worth of goods. So we don't know what is the total worth. But in the first place, the total worth was divided into 3 parts. And one part of it was paid as duty. And then an amount will be remaining, right? So in the second place, this remaining amount was divided into 4 equal parts and one part of it was paid as the duty. Now, then an amount will be remaining. So at the third place, he divides this remaining amount into 5 equal parts and pays one part out of the remaining amount as the duty. And the total amount that he paid as duty is also given in the question. Then how would we find out? See, in the first case, the amount was divided into 3 parts. In the second case, 4 parts, and in the third case, the amount was divided into 5 parts. And since that is the case, let's have a common ground. See, let's find out what is the total number of parts the total worth was divided into. How would we find out that? Let's find out the LCM of these denominators, these 3 denominators. So what is the LCM of 3, 4 and 5? The LCM of 3, 4 and 5 is equal to 60. You can find out the LCM either by factorization method or short division method. So we have found out the LCM as 60. It means the total worth was divided into 60 equal parts, and from the 60 equal parts, in the first place or at the first place, 1/3 of these total parts was given as duty. So it is 1/3 of 60. What is 1/3 of 60? 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1 and 60 divided by 3 is equal to 20. So after cancelling out the common factors, we get the duty paid as 20 parts. Clear? Now the parts of the total worth remaining. So here we have considered the total worth was divided into 60 equal parts. At the first place, 1/3 of 60, 20 parts were given as duty. Now how much is remaining? How many total parts is remaining? How would we find out? The total number of parts was 60 and we paid 20 out of it. So the parts of total worth remaining is equal to 40. Now in the second place, he will be paying 1/4 of this 40, the remaining amount, right? So 1/4 of 40 is equal to how much? 4 divided by 4, 1. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So 1 into 10 by 10, by 1, that is equal to 10. So he paid 10 parts of the total worth as the duty at the second place. Clear? Now how much is remaining after paying the duty at the second place? From this 40, 10 was paid. So 40 minus 10, we have 30 parts remaining. So he is going to the third place. At the third place, he will be paying how much? 1/5 of the remaining amount. So that would be 1/5 of 30, the remaining amount. That is 1/5 into 30. So 30 divided by 5 is 6 and 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. So 1 into 6 by 1, that is equal to 6. Now he paid 6 parts out of the total 60 parts at the third place. Now how would we find out what is the total fraction of the duty paid? You have to add these parts. The 20 parts that he paid at the first place, the 10 parts that he paid at the second place, and the 6 parts that he paid at the third place. So that would be 20 plus 10 plus 6 by the total number of parts. That would be 36 by 60. So we had this 60 total parts and 36 out of the 60 parts. That is the fraction that was paid as duty. And after cancelling out the common factors, see, 36 divided by 6 is equal to 6 and 60 divided by 6 is equal to 10. Again, after cancelling, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3 and 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So what is the fraction of total duty paid? It is 3/5. And in the question, the amount which was paid as duty, the total duty, is also given. How much is it? Rupees 1020. So we have the fraction 3/5 of the total worth. 3/5 of the total worth is equal to 1020 as mentioned in the question. So the total worth would be how much? 3/5 of total worth equal to 1020. You cross multiply 5 into 1020 by 3 into, we don't have a denominator, you can suppose as 1. So total worth would be 1020 into 5 by 3. Now, what is 1020 into 5? 1020 into 5 is equal to 5100 and that divided by 3. So we have 5100 divided by 3 and the total amount is rupees 1700. So the total worth of goods is equal to rupees 1700. I hope you are clear with this now. Now we can go through the topic division of a fraction by a fraction in page number 72, and you have to complete the rest of the questions from exercise 4.6. You have already done a few questions in the previous classes, so complete the rest of the questions and then you have to do question number 1 and 2 of the exercise named HOTS, which is in page number 73. Again, in the next page 74 and 75, you can see these activities: speed maths, maths lab activity and my project. Please go through these questions as well and do accordingly. So that's all for today. We will meet in the next class. Until then, bye.